Welcome to You're Not Alone, the podcast that brings you real stories of strength, hope, and resilience. Life is full of challenges, and if you are navigating a personal struggle, facing difficult challenges, or simply looking for an inspiration, this space is for you. My name is Victoria Vita. I'm a mindset mentor, Reiki master, and a sound healer. I'm also the CEO and founder of Self Awesomeness and the host of this podcast. This podcast is here to give you hope, inspiration, and the reminder that you have community behind you. Our guests are real people just like you who have faced losses, anxieties, and life obstacles but emerged stronger. Their stories are raw, honest, and full of hope, reminding you that no matter how tough things get, you are not alone. And today's guest is Roya Mattis, who knows what it's like to feel successful on the surface while quietly stuck beneath it all. In this episode, we'll explore how your mind, body, and DNA hold the key to transformation and how you can collapse time and step out of what I should be into what I'm meant to be. Get ready for a conversation that goes beyond strategy and delves into the actual source of freedom and embodiment. Welcome, Roy. I'm very excited to have you on today's
Wow,
podcast.
what a gorgeous synopsis, Victoria. Thank you for that
Sure.
introduction. I'm excited for my own conversation with you.
I'm very
Thank you for
excited too.
having me. Yeah.
Sure. So I looked at your website, and one of the powerful questions that you ask, why do I feel stuck when my life looks like success? Can you
Mm,
share what that question meant for you personally?
yeah. Um, I had a title that only 0.001% of people in the world get to as a national sales director in the museum at the company. Still am actually, and so grateful for that journey. And so on the surface, my life looked like success. Two children, a 7,500 square foot home, a husband of nearly 20 years at that time, and a title and a free car and free vacations and
Mhm.
plenty of money. And I found myself silently suffering.
Oh,
And the reason I silently suffered is because there was confusion, there was guilt, there was shame over the fact that I could still feel like my life was not at the place it needed to be with all of these boxes checked.
mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
who do I go to and say, I am suffering? Like, and I
Yes.
use that word because I would spin and spin and spin about my question silently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is wrong with me? Why isn't this enough? What
Mm-hmm.
is going on in my life
Mm-hmm.
um, that I've reached the pinnacle of everything I thought I wanted, and I
Yes.
am not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what was the answer? This
Well, it
is the
was
question that a lot
multiple.
of people are struggling with, right?
Yes.
It looks like we reach. Actually, I had a conversation on Saturday with one of my best friends, and she's a little bit over her 40, and she said, like, "What's next? I have everything, and what's next? Why I don't feel that excitement to life anymore, like
Yeah.
full life anymore?"
There's so many layers to that question, Victoria, when someone's
Mm-hmm.
diving inside of themselves. You know, there are physical factors, there's hormonal factors, and then there are emotional factors,
Mm-hmm.
factors of things that have never been dealt with that are coming to the surface, typically for women in their 40s,
Mm-hmm.
men in their early 50s is when we wake up to these
Mm-hmm.
emotional
Yes.
trappings, things we've compartmentalized so effectively and stuffed aside for later or maybe never because
Yes.
we're able to just push through. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's the factors of the things in your life that you, so it might be where you live, it might be whom you live with, it
Mm-hmm.
might be um, what work you're doing and you have changed and it no longer aligns for you. So for me, it was a bit multidimensional. I did not even know I had stuff I'd been stuffing. I was so good at positizing. That's a word I
Mm-hmm.
made up, but I
Oh,
think
I
it's
love
really
it. I love it.
it's really applicable. I was so good at positizing that my body started to literally suffer. Like I
Mhm.
was in pain on a regular basis.
Oh, wow.
And there was no reason really why, although I started to find out some things which came into alignment with with this positizing type of person. This positizing person did not have enough boundaries. And so I actually contracted some things like Lyme, which is real, like mold
Mm-hmm.
toxicity, which is real. And also, those are autoimmune diseases
Mm-hmm.
that are breaking boundaries inside of your body,
Yes,
which is an
yes.
emotional agreement that I am okay with my boundaries being
Mm-hmm.
broken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Mm-hmm.
was living in this space of physical body breaking down, silently suffering inside of my marriage. I had
Mm-hmm.
invited a type of marriage that no longer aligned with me. And that
Mm-hmm.
version of me needed the man that I married.
Mm-hmm.
The version I became was
Yes.
dying and
Oh,
suffocating
yeah.
under that agreement that I pulled in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
too. And then the
Yes.
work that I was doing, there were some things that felt out of alignment with who I am at the core. And
Mm-hmm.
it was likely, and it's likely a season inside of the space that I
Yeah.
represented. And because of how I'm built, just the way I am, there are different type. Tony Robbins talks about three different types of entrepreneurs: the artist, the manager, and the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur will do whatever as long as it's a financial yes.
Mm-hmm.
For an artist and a manager, which are the two things I am, we're deeply connected to what it is. And so if
Yeah.
something feels out of integrity in any way, I just can't do it. So here I was at
Yes.
the top of my path, and I no longer felt in alignment to be able to bring others along with me. And yet I had this fierce loyalty that tied one side of me there and the other foot like dangling out. Like, but what am I going to
Yeah.
do about this other part?
Yes.
So
Yes.
your listeners might feel like they're splits, like a portion of me is in total agreement with this part of my relationship or my work or my body, and there's another portion that's in total misalignment
Mm-hmm.
that causes suffering.
Yes. Yes. But how do you find the alignment?
Mm,
What would you what was the first step for you to take, and what
mm,
suggestion would you can give to someone who is looking for that first step for the alignment? Because I think when we are not in alignment, we don't
yeah,
even know where to start or where to go to, because it's like, oh,
yeah,
am I in alignment? What's wrong with me? Why I'm not
yeah,
happy? Why am I checked all of the boxes off, right? And
right.
why am I still not happy?
Right. That's a great question. And I actually have a divinely downloaded answer that I didn't come up with myself. So I'll share with you what was received
Mm-hmm.
through my consciousness that gives a roadmap actually to your listeners when you're stuck. And I don't think we talked about this before. So I'm grateful that you asked this question. That means it's meant to be. So
Mm-hmm.
there is an invitation in every life that is an invitation for evolution and change.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that keeps us stuck is that we are afraid of part of the cycle of change, which was given to me as messy adolescence. So I
Mm-hmm.
want you to imagine a wheel of change. And
Mm-hmm.
this is applicable to a change in your body, in relationships, in money, in work, in anything in your life, in your
Mm-hmm.
emotional, you're depressed all the time. This is the roadmap to help you get out. So what was shown to me is that change to get out and
Mm-hmm.
evolve from that place of stuckness is the first is we're in the death cycle when we feel that way. So it follows the
Mm-hmm.
course of life. The first
Mm-hmm.
is death cycle, and this is asking for rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
It's asking for
Yes.
shedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's asking for releasing so that you can grow again. But we
Mm-hmm.
avoid it because we don't want to go into messy adolescence.
Of
That's a
course.
part of life. Messy adolescence is awkward. When we were in adolescence, we didn't know ourselves. We felt we overdid things, we underdid things. We didn't
Yes.
recognize ourselves. Other people didn't recognize us. It
Yes.
was messy. So who wants to go into the land of messy
Nobody.
when you are already in the suffering that you know of
Mm-hmm.
stuckness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing to do when you're in the death cycle in some area of your life is stage one of life, which is childhood. Childlike
Mhm.
curiosity
Oh, I
is
love
important.
that. Yeah.
You get really curious.
Hmm.
What else could be true here? First, eliminate the question why, because which is what I used to ask myself. And why is a very stuck, stagnant
Yes.
question. If you were asked why you spilled the milk, your brain's going to go, and I got to justify.
Yes. Yeah.
Justification is not going to get you through and out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Curiosity will. What, where, when, how, whom, what within me is not in alignment with whatever is going on in my body,
Hmm.
my relationship, my money, etc. What is a great
Hmm.
question.
Hmm.
And so I start listening to different podcasts, reading different books, exposing myself to different workshops, different people, different conversations. This is what starts to get me aware of
Hmm.
where I can go next. Now, after
Hmm.
curiosity comes messy adolescence, the scary part. Here's the cool thing about adolescence. You are freaking alive. During
Yes.
adolescence, you're actually growing a lot.
Uh,
You're morphing and becoming what
hmm.
it is that's next. So this is now, instead of a place to be afraid of, let's celebrate that you're no longer with the Walking Dead.
Hmm. Oh,
Let's give
yes.
us, let's give us grace, celebration, and
Hmm.
achievement for moving into a place of aliveness. So know that it's not going to last forever. You're going to try
Nothing lasts
things that
forever.
you were
Yes.
introduced to. You're going to expose yourself to conversations, coaches, mentors, places that you didn't go before,
Hmm.
and you're going to be awkward for a while.
And
So then
uncomfortable too.
uncomfortable. I mean,
Yes.
and I'll tell you stories just not to get off the track of the wheel, but
Uh-huh.
I was so awkward when I was making my initial changes.
Hmm.
And some of it is like, ooh, I am so sorry for the people that went on that trail with me as I was messy. And if I did not, I would not
Hmm.
be in alignment, fully
Yes.
excited about where I am today. So the
Yes.
one after that is
Hmm.
adulthood. Adulthood is purposeful. Adulthood takes effort and execution, but you know who you are and what you want to
Hmm.
do, what trail it takes to get there, and you focus on it.
Hmm.
Now,
And
you
you
might go
take
into that.
responsibility for that as well.
Yes, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the direction, and this is,
Yes.
I figured out for my next best step, this is what I need to do. Now, in that messy adolescence, you might go, oops, wrong one. Let me go back to curiosity.
Hmm.
I'll
Hmm.
go into messy adolescence again. Now I'm going to execute. After purposeful adulthood becomes maturity. This is the exhale, the being,
Hmm.
as if
Yes.
it's always been you. Here you are.
Yeah. Oh,
And
it's amazing.
right, it feels so delicious.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you're going to stay in that maturity because it's the landing place for that
Hmm.
portion of your life.
Hmm.
And sometimes you've worked to get there and it's time for something next. And you feel
Yes.
irritated again and you're in
Because
the
we're
next
alive, right? So we
because we're
are
alive.
alive.
Just
Yes.
like seasons, fall,
Yes.
winter, summer, spring, all have their gifts and benefits.
Yes.
So, for example, one of my very first messy things was I looked very feminine. I'm in a
Really?
feminine company, makeup, color cosmetics, showing up in heels, blinged out. I mean, like, you got to have the hair done, the nails done, and you look like a woman. But
Hmm.
I behaved inside like a man.
Hmm.
And I'm both masculine and feminine, just
Hmm.
like everyone else.
Everybody. Yes.
But I leveraged, like many high achieving females, that gear called masculine to
Hmm.
its excess, to where my body began to pay the price. My emotions paid the price,
Hmm.
my being. And the ceiling that I hit was because I was expecting my entire life to run on a one cylinder engine when it's two,
Correct. Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yes.
And so then, as I decided, well, I am feminine at core, as I realized that,
Oh,
which in
and
my
I.
course that I created, I have a singular question because Victoria, it took me a year to even know that I was feminine at core. That's
I,
how anchored I was that no, I am masculine at core.
yeah, I'm the
It took
same
me
here.
a year. Okay, so I have a single question I've given my course because let's collapse time, right? We talk about collapsing
Hmm.
time. So it was downloaded to me. So once I realized, okay, I'm feminine at core, I'm going to put myself in places to call that version of me
Hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first did that, the friends in my circle, the family was like, what is that? I don't like that. Who are you? And and Victoria, I
Yeah.
overflexed it because I needed to feel her.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that? What is that?
Yes.
How does she move? What things does she like?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What does she
who is she
feel?
intimately?
Yes.
Yes, I'm discovering layers of things in my body and feelings and awarenesses I never had before, and permissions I never
Uh,
gave myself before.
um,
And so, in that, it has taken a good, so I started that process in 2016,
mm-hmm.
and it is 2025 while we're talking right now, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's 9 years. Do you know I just got to a space where I went, oh, now I have fully embodied this thing. I love this version, this feminine part. Everyone that talks to me is like, I can't imagine you behaved masculine. I don't even identify that version. And now I'm like, oh, 9 years, I'm ready to
9 years.
integrate both
Yes.
more. Because I was unaware, Victoria, that then I attached the stigma that if I embody that masculine energy, that version, I
Mm-hmm.
will never be held in a relationship ever
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't before. I'm never going to be able to hold the container of money and not
Mm-hmm.
break my body down. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to sacrifice my body if I bring that part of me off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So that masculine version, that part of me that I flexed my entire life up until that point really hard. I became afraid of that part of her, of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I recognize 9 years now, I'm just
You
in the
do,
integration
yeah,
of the
like in
wholeness.
balance. Yeah.
Yes. And this is the work of the world right now,
Yes.
actually. It was
Yes.
in 2015, I had this big divine intervention. The ceiling opened, the light poured in, God's voice came to my ear, ancestors stacked to infinity behind me. My feet started raising on ballerina toes, and I'm not a ballerina. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fly away. My body, and
Mm-hmm.
people are going to take my body away to science. What the
Mm-hmm.
heck's happening? My skin was rippling like under a hand dryer, and the voice was pantomiming all their pain, all their sorrows, all their triumphs, and all their successes have come together for a time such as this. You've been called. And I'm like, what have I
So
been
have you
called?
been attuned before? Like, did you feel that connection with the divine
That
before?
massive experience. I'd had God moments before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That massive had never happened to me
Wow.
to the point where I'm like, I think I've lost my ever loving mind. And then 2 months later, it happened again. And so then I
Oh.
went on this journey. And this journey
Oh.
was, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 years, I looked for what that means. And it ties back to what we're talking about here. I realized it was 2018, it hit me like a Mack truck between my eyes. When it hit, it was like, boom. We are to
Yeah.
help. And I'm a part of it. Many are a part of it, this awakening. This language didn't occur in 2018, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Masculine and feminine energy and
Yeah. Yeah.
polarity. It was in very
Uh-huh.
small spaces you would talk about it, not out loud. So now what we're doing is we took the era of suppression for women in the US. And we swung the pendulum really hard into the era of independence in the
Mm-hmm.
US in the 60s. And we just kept going. And that
Mm-hmm.
here we value so much independence that if you even talk about needing someone else, you could be weak and something's wrong. And but
Yes.
we are co-created for interdependence. It's proven by the birth of an infant. The infant needs eye contact. The infant
Mm-hmm.
needs touch, or it will
Touch.
actually
Yeah.
atrophy and die. Right?
Yes.
So how
Yes.
are we thinking we're suddenly separate from what
Mm-hmm.
the body we were born
Mm-hmm.
into? That is
Yeah.
an illusion, and this is a part of our atrophy. And so some of that work is to help centralize
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self back into self's polarity first of the intertwining of your masculine and your
Okay.
feminine
Mm-hmm.
essences, which is different for each person. A
Yes.
feminine at core has her own unique to
Mm-hmm.
herself too. But there's an
Yes.
anchor, and then there is the masculine at core. There's an anchor, and it's unique to
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
herself, depending on gender. So that polarity, from
Mm-hmm.
what I understand from what I call God, you might call source, universe,
Mm-hmm.
that is a root of all of our gifts and all of our sufferings.
Mm-hmm.
When we break illusions that were created to the point of our own forgetting
Mm-hmm.
centuries ago, to
Mm-hmm.
imbalance us, to make us feel like we need something outside of ourselves, and therefore we are unstable and therefore we are
Mm-hmm.
controllable. Once we find that essence inside ourselves again, we are so aligned that nothing can control,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And that's the work, is to come
Mm-hmm.
back to self. So including this stuff that I'm talking about on my
Mm-hmm.
website is the underlying, I'm going to give you what you need, what you want, but what you need also is a
Mm-hmm.
balance inside of yourself that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know was out of balance.
Yeah, because we were not taught, and you were talking about women in United States, it's everywhere, right? Like back home, it was the same thing. So it's all masculine, go, 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 go. And here, all of a sudden, energy shifted to find your feminine energy, to allow
Yeah,
yourself just to be. And it's not about just doing nothing and, I don't know, meditating all the time, but still
right.
find that balance and alignment within yourself and feel
Yeah.
complete. Kind of, this is me, and I know when I'm not in balance, I know what to do next to feel in
Yeah.
balance. Yeah.
And it is confusing because there's a lot of
It's
mismessaging about how to
correct.
activate feminine energy. Like you said, oh, I'm going to, sit on a mountaintop and put crystals in my
Yes.
yogi, and now I am in my feminine essence. Or as a man, how do I exert more of this feminine and still feel
Mm-hmm.
like a man? Or how am I? What's healthy masculine and what is
Yes. Yes.
imbalanced masculine inside men or woman? So there's a lot of misguidance. And what I
Mm-hmm.
will say for feminine at core, for usually a female body, is that you cannot learn it by watching the internet.
That's- I love that.
You have to, because feminine is of the body. And this
Mm-hmm.
is why I just honestly just
Mm-hmm.
awakened to, like, I'm having a retreat in 2026. I've already booked it. I'm booking two because you have to immerse in it. You
Yes.
have to feel it. You have to be in it. You have to allow your body to
Mm-hmm.
experience the unimaginable. And you go, holy ass. I don't know if you have young audience listening, but holy
Yes.
ass. What was that? What
Yes. That
was that?
that was my personal
Right?
experience when I went on a retreat, like first female retreat. This is how I felt. Like I
Yeah.
was crying, I was in tears, not
Yeah.
just for like 30
It's a
seconds. I was like
remembering.
bursting.
It's a
Yeah, it
remembering.
was it was
It's a
absolutely amazing
coming home.
experience. Yeah.
You cannot do that without the immersion of other
Yes.
healthy feminine
Yes.
showing that to you. It's
Yeah.
like I can't teach a man how to be masculine at core. That is not, I can
Hmm.
awaken and invite,
Hmm.
but he's got to go with men that are anchored in that. We
Correct.
have to come in the circle of healthy feminine. And it's not an easy thing to find. It is out there. It's out there more than ever.
Yes.
And it is a must to immerse. When I first walked into that kind of room, in 2015, literally, Victoria, my body went, oh, hell no. I was like, I
Wow.
am not.
Hmm.
Like with a capital NOT, I am not. And by the end, I was like, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Exhale,
What?
right?
That was the most intoxicating feeling.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So start basically a short answer to my question is to start looking, listen, go, practice. If you feel that this person resonates with you, just go to this person, listen to them, be in connection with them because you are drawn to them for a reason.
Yes, and then we try to rationalize out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that when we do that, we're going into old stories, old conditionings.
Yes.
So that's a part of feminine energy too, is intuition.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And we
intuition.
do
Yes.
forget our intuition, and it's okay to feel wobbly when you're
Mm-hmm.
following intuition. And
Mm-hmm.
remember, men, women, if you do something on instinct and it didn't work out the way you thought, just following that alone was the
Mm-hmm.
right thing, because you're flexing the muscle, and the
Yes.
wrong thing is actually the road you needed.
Correct, correct.
Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. So I think for a lot of women as well is one of the things that I notice in pattern, they want to rush things. The when they're like, okay, I need to get the result now. And as you
Yeah.
said, it took pretty much 9 years to feel that pure alignment with yourself. So
Yeah.
what would you suggest to do when there is like, okay, Where's the result? Why I'm not there? I don't feel it this way, like rushing through the process instead of enjoying it.
It's tough because we are conditioned to check boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I would say is, I want you to imagine that when you are in your process and you're frustrated, imagine a toddler that was about to learn how to tie their shoe. And instead of keeping with it, they threw it away. And then they're wondering, and they're walking around with one foot.
Mm-hmm.
Their shoe, one foot,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're stumbling. Well, you can do that. Sometimes in moments, you got to have your tantrum.
Yes.
And to get through it, you just got to go back to the shoe and try to put it on
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Because every one of us has learned to walk if we had the
Yes.
viable legs to do it.
Yes.
And therefore, you know exactly how to fall and get back up, or you wouldn't be walking
Mm-hmm.
or talking or writing or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that you had to learn to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're younger, you gave yourself the grace to be
Yes.
awkward and not have a timeline.
This
You
is
did it
childhood
until.
curiosity, right? This is what we
Yes,
talked
you did it.
about.
You did it until, and that is actually the mystery of success. When I taught business and success for over 20 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
with all the concrete things, including the affirmations and the incantations, and the body language and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And the illusion of success is that it is that straight road. And there's a lot of pictures that show this too.
Yeah.
That is the illusion. The only way to success is through failure. That is the
Yes.
only way. And that's why most people do not succeed. So your audience that's already succeeded in something, talking,
Yes.
walking, driving,
Going to college,
accomplishing a
school.
goal. Yes.
Yes.
The way to that was through mistakes and failures. Some
Mm-hmm.
of them, you didn't care and count the
Mm-hmm.
failures and mistakes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was before it was in your consciousness to count it. So now you're hyper focused on the timeline. You forgot the journey is through failure to the becoming. And I think instinctually, Victoria, that's why I did not hold the feminine embodiment retreats until right now. It's been
Mm-hmm.
9 years. I attempted to, and I pulled it away, and I was going to, and I pulled it away. I think because there's a part of me that knew I am in the feminine space and I'm not integrated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah,
I
I
had to
see.
follow my own timeline. Have I helped tons of people along the way, not fully integrated in my masculine and feminine,
Of course.
helix? Yes. Have I done other incredible, have I received and done and given
Mm-hmm.
incredible other things? Have I exceeded the income I made in what
Yes.
I thought was my life's path before?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I had to release the timeline and keep going with the instinct. No,
Mm-hmm.
yes, no, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and
Just,
learning to trust yourself too, right? So
yeah,
learning to trust the information process and all of that that comes along the way. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's beautiful. I
Hmm.
know, Roya, that when we met, you talked about the mind, body, soul DNA process. Can you please dive into that concept?
Mm.
Because what now we hear a lot, as you said, like we're not in 2018 anymore. Now it's more information is available. We talk
Yeah,
mostly about mind, body, and soul connection. You
yeah,
added another layer, DNA
yeah,
layer.
yeah.
Uh, what does it mean, and how does it help with the transformation, with the personal
Uh,
transformation?
Great question. So I have a trifecta methodology: mind, body, soul. And that soul is that energy space, and it includes DNA. Now, Victoria, I'm going to start with an example that's concrete for those of
Hmm.
us that this is so conceptual. Like, how do I land this plane?
Hmm.
If you think about science and studies of DNA, we think about, okay, they have uncovered that our DNA is what is coding our hair color, eye color, the way our body is shaped, how much fat we hold, how much we don't, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
And we understand that DNA is an access point for our survival as a species. So
Yes.
I might have very, very dark skin in lands that I need dark skin, very, very light skin in lands that I need light skin, etc.
Hmm.
And there's more. So when they've done millions of studies now, so hundreds of thousands of studies now, and this is more accurate. I'm going to take one particular study they did with rats, and it was with pomegranate seeds. And they put these pomegranate seeds inside the maze. And they put these rats into the maze, free to roam until they hit the pomegranate seed. And when they hit the pomegranate seed, unfortunately, they would shock them so badly that they would pass out or die upon coming upon the pomegranate seed. Now, there were offsprings of those that passed out. And these offspring put back in the same maze, pomegranate seeds in the maze. These offsprings, though, were never touched. Never touched. And they were passing out. They were running away squealing. And some dying, never being touched. Now, this didn't happen generation one, like parent going, warning, warning, don't touch pomegranate seeds, right? Well, of course, they're going to, oh my gosh, a pomegranate seed my parent told me about. This happened for 7 generations.
Oh, wow.
They have found that DNA coding on habits and reactions and responses has been 4 to 122 generations. So, if we are species for survival, it makes sense. We are coded. But what once kept you safe can now keep you caged. The very thing that kept your lineage alive might be the very thing that is causing your silent suffering, and you have no roadmap to understand what this habit is because it was never told to you. It was only encoded inside of you. So how do we reach that? This is where I found this lane with clients that have done all the things, and they continue to buck against certain things that they just, no matter what they do, they keep doing that. They keep doing that with food. They keep doing that in relationships. They keep doing that with money. Like a roller coaster of money. A lot of entrepreneurs, they hit a ceiling and then they lose that money and then they make it again. Well, they have a high subconscious identity of being an achiever. Well, here's the shadow part. An achiever needs room to achieve. So once you hit your subconscious deserve level, maybe coded in your DNA, your subconscious deserve level for money, I got to make room to achieve because I certainly identify as an achiever. So now money goes down so that I have room to make it. Now we got a roller coaster effect. So there was a client, we went into her DNA with money, and she had this ancient lifetime. Now, I'm not God. I don't know if it is from her ancestral line or past lives. There was an activation, Victoria, that happened for me in 2021 that I never asked for, never expected, never imagined. And literally it was an activation. And now it's a channeling where I am the conduit. It's not me actually. I set my ego aside. Anyway, long story short, I'm shown the visions of the memories and hear guidance, and I even feel the pains in my body. And sometimes it's in your lifetime and sometimes it's beyond. So this particular channeling was, we went into this lifetime where she was a part of a collection of farmers. They had tons of land and everything was easy. It was like the co-creation kind of connection, village type of thing. Everyone is doing their part. Until a ruler moved in, this dark king ruler, and started to create taxation and all of that. Well, this part of her family line was attacked because they had so much land for the farming. That what ended up happening was there was a belief that if I have that much, we are attacked and killed.
It will be taken away. That's one of my things that I had to work with.
Horrible things happen. Did she consciously think of that? No,
you don't think about it.
But when she got to be a shining light in money, it was like, oh shoot. I got to dim it again, because in her DNA, that's death. That's loss of love and death, the two biggest fears. So what did we have to do? We had to recode. We didn't. We asked for grace. So people that work in that DNA space, if you feel called for that as a listener, then you've got to believe in something beyond yourself. Period. The end. If you don't, this process is not. It's a co-creation. So we know that DNA can reorganize itself for survival again. So we create an invitation, and sometimes that invitation is granted, and we actually reatone because time is linear according to,
Mm-hmm.
science. They have uncovered time is actually linear. And we go and we ask for reatonement of that timeline, and I cannot explain how it happens, but I'm witnessing miracles. I've
Mm-hmm.
literally
Mm-hmm.
witnessed people using three-dimensional body stuff, plus energetic stuff and emotional stuff combined,
Mm-hmm.
go from wheelchairs to walking, go from money caps to breaking through and exponentially. I had a
Mm-hmm.
client that came in and she was making, or her business was a 2 million revenue. She
Mm-hmm.
went from a business of 2 million revenue in 9 months. She's on at 4 million in income
Oh, wow.
from that tiny
Uh-huh.
girl and that DNA that was
Mm-hmm.
protecting her that now feels safe to make
Yes.
a lot
Yes.
more, right?
Yes.
So when we free the very things that are in
Mm-hmm.
our blind spots,
Yes.
it no longer controls us.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like basically facing our fears to more unconscious level, right? But you
Yeah,
dive deeper to something that you don't even think about can
yeah, but there's
affect you.
an end. You know how you were like, oh, my body felt really good when I went into that. You cried, but you felt so good when you went into that
Yes.
festival. Okay, so the illusion also of this deep work is that it's painful and really hard. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Yes.
is there a windy road? Yes, your windy road you're already on is the stuck windy road that you're already
Mm-hmm.
on. You're already in pain.
Yeah.
This windy road is an elevation out
Yes.
and up.
Yes.
That's the difference. Um, you can co-create joy in the
Mm-hmm.
process of the up leveling.
That's what I was talking to somebody last week, actually, that it's probably when you just start your healing journey, you are in pain. Like mostly it's more like emotional or physical pain. But
Yeah.
then once you learn, you don't have to go into that deep hole again and feel miserable. You learn to transform from joy. And this is what I've
Mhm.
been talking about for, I think, like last year or about nine
Mhm.
months now, that you
Mhm.
can really grow and experience that transformation and alignment from joy, not from suffering.
You can, and Victoria, since you're talking about it, then that means that you can actually collapse time for clients to come to you and take them into joy right away in
Mm-hmm.
their process. They don't have to go through the suffering level because you have
Yes.
done that in the collective of the union
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
them. So,
Yeah.
for example, I had a client who had tremendous uterine pain and she was afraid. Now, we were in a medicine space. I don't conduct the medicine, but I'll hold space
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and because I'm trauma trained, and when these memories come up, we want to
Mm-hmm.
move it through and
Yeah.
upgrade the neural paths right there. So anyway, she was very afraid. And I said to her, remember, you are the creation and a creator. We get
Mm-hmm.
to decide that you can release this uterine pain with ease and comfort.
Yes.
And it took her 3 days to come to me. And when she told me that, and it's just like, really, I can do ease and comfort. So a lot of you are stopping, the listeners
Mm-hmm.
are stopping because you think it's going to be automatic pain. You are also a creator. So
Yes.
when we did this space, we opened the space for her, literally like an energetic river of
Mm-hmm.
water came through and flowed through her body. And her body was in so much peace.
Yeah, like you
And
could feel this
like, I
relaxing,
feel
like
like a little bunny in the field. She was really like free of it in
yes.
that one. That was grace in that one session, and it did not. It was not difficult. It was not
Mm-hmm.
painful. She did not
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch of trauma doing it. It was beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. So the transformation can happen with joy and pleasure. But
Yeah.
what was your DNA that you realized you needed to bring to light to help you to become who you are right now?
I am. If I'm going to be really transparent, there are parts of my DNA, Victoria, that I have not upgraded yet.
Mhm. I mean, I think it's
And I am
limitless,
having conversations
unlimited.
with God like, okay, so I have been a conduit
Mm-hmm.
for so many, and yet I have not conducted some of these things to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a limiting belief I have in myself
Mm-hmm.
that I have not orchestrated through. I'm in that process. I'm still in my life cycle on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of the things, as far as to become, for me, it's been a journey of exposure, a journey of
Mm-hmm.
collection, of following my feet to what else to expose myself to,
Mm-hmm.
what else to say yes to, what else
Yes.
to allow that I didn't allow before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the circles that I talked about, the
Yes.
conversations and the spaces that have opened that space. Just even recently, this fuller integration happened because I said yes to going into a space where there was another practitioner that I could access something from. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
in fact, it was so integrative. It's something I was exposed to 9 years ago,
Mm.
re-exposed to with her again. We met nine
Oh.
years ago, the
Oh,
beginning of
wow.
the journey. I wasn't ready for this part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to go back because you
Correct.
are a different version.
Yes.
It's a continuation, you
Mm-hmm.
showing up to the same material different. So
Yes.
I'm bringing her into that retreat space to
Mm-hmm.
help again others. So I would say that my version today is still in evolution, and
Mm-hmm.
she is in this I am in a gorgeous piece of the best way I can describe it is I do feel this giddy joy inside of me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like it's like, oh my gosh, this is my life, like I'm so grateful. And okay, there's more, and I'm grateful for that too. And so
Yes.
I know I answered that messy because it is kind of
No, I
an
think you did answer it. You didn't say, yes, I fixed this, this, and this. I think that's honest. And I do believe that we uncover things when we are ready to see them as well. And
yeah,
then we uncover more, kind of, we walk our path. We enjoy what we do, right? So now
yeah,
you're doing your retreat. And I think that retreat will be transformational for you as well, even though you're hosting it, because,
yes,
like every time when you host something, then there is so much for you there as well. And I
yeah,
think our transformational journey, it doesn't have an end point. We are alive and we live, right? So we go through
right,
phases, we go through our ups and downs, but this is our life, and this is the joy of life, that it's not just straight line, which is probably means death, right? It's more about like living and enjoying it, and kind of
yeah,
enjoying even like from
like a
bad
dance.
days. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
like a dance. Yeah, like a
like
dance.
a dance has
Yes.
different paces and directions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
and
that. Yeah.
energies. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Roy, so much. I had actually way more questions to ask. uh,
We had such a great time with you. You ask amazing questions and hold beautiful space.
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank you,
grateful
Roy.
for this time.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Could you please share your legacy, your encouragement message with the listeners before we wrap up?
When you're searching for him or her and you're wondering, when can I find that? My message for you is you already are. And every point that you allow yourself to know you already are, you will come more into the remembering. And as you come into that remembering, because you were already chosen and gifted when you came into this life for something, and you know that there's a piece of you that knows I'm meant for
Mhm.
something more. Maybe you already know that you're meant for it, but you haven't fully stepped into it. You are it. You are just unwrapping him or her.
Mhm.
So you don't have to worry about not being enough. You are that the moment you give yourself more permission to be it. And the moment you give yourself permission to go into spaces, in places where you remember more of self. And so I just celebrate that you're even listening to a podcast like this. You are more awake than you realize. And I hope that the life cycle of change gives you permission
Mhm.
to take yours, to honor that you're in a cycle as everyone is in different ones in different areas. And
Mhm.
it gives you a map of where to go depending on what part of the cycle you're in. So you don't have to be confused. And if you want to continue more, you have Victoria. And if I may share my website,
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have your information. Yes.
it's just my first and last name, Roya, Roya, Mattis, Mattis. Or you can say Matisse, that makes me happy.
Matisse. I
RoyaMatisse.com.
like Matisse.
Find me there.
Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Roy, so much. Thank you very much for your beautiful story, for sharing what you've learned during your journey. Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another powerful story. And remember, no matter how tough things get, you are not alone.